I'm Mike Hayne, and I'm talking to myself to cure myself. Today is December 7th, 2022. The place? A rooming house. Or as they call it in Las Vegas, a group home. A place with the lowest derelicts who can only afford $400 a month rent. And we all get, I found out really there's a pretty standard measurement. We get $850 for Social Security. And actually the other ones get more than me. I'm the poorest of all. So 15 miles east of the Las Vegas Strip, in a mobile home community of over age 55 people, and they have partitioned one of the mobile homes out into different rooms and charge $400 a month. And the poor derelict lives in there, pays half his Social Security each month to live in there. And I get food card money on the food card. It's a pretty good life. It's not that bad. As I used to say a couple of years ago, if Hitler was here, he'd be saying, "See, Mike, this is what we were trying to accomplish." The little kids are practically dancing towards the school. And I'm going, they're with their parents going towards the elementary school. And I'm thinking, what's that all about? Then I realized they're getting fed breakfast at the school. So I'm talking to myself to cure myself. Now, here's the interesting part. When I look at what happened to me, it does not make sense that it could be crime. Why would anyone, and the characters were too weird and creepy, why would anyone be doing these things to me at the resort for 22 years in Death Valley National Park, beginning in 2012? Why would anyone be doing this to me? It doesn't make sense. There's not a profit in it. Even here in this halfway house, or this group home, poisoning me to death. There's no profit. What's the profit? It can't be organized crime. It has to be something else. So I thought, could it possibly be, and this is the weird part, because you would think you would hear this in the news, it would be reported, or you would see it somewhere. This is totally unbelievable. Group of people in the neighborhood who are filled with hate and who are willing to take actions against what they call a target, but not for money, just for the hate. That's hard. Man, that's a hard reality. So what is hate? Hate means that the person desires something and didn't accomplish it, didn't achieve it. So they're angry and they want to hurt somebody. It's the illegal aliens. Because you didn't study and become a successful dentist, that's the illegal aliens' fault? You're mental. Go watch Roseanne. The thing that's kind of interesting about the hate everywhere in the United States among all the citizens is that it comes from the TV, because the TV is constantly telling them what George Carlin said. It's the American dream, because you'd have to be asleep to believe it. It's conceivable that almost every single shiny, smiling actor and actress dancing a jig on the TV, on the commercials, during the football games and things, is actually a relative of some insider from previous times. That 100 years ago, you could be like Elvis Presley, born poor, get a guitar, learn how to sing, and then on a Saturday night in Mississippi, hey, what do you want to do? You want to gossip? You want to go hunt possums? No, Elvis Presley's going to play his guitar and sing. They pass the hat around and give somebody. Bob Dylan's doing that too. He's walking around the country with a guitar. Hey, Bob Dylan. Then they pass the hat around. Then they get a manager Colonel Parker for Elvis Presley, and he starts selling tickets. Hey, come to the show. That's called an economy of scale. And so he sells hundreds of tickets or thousands of tickets, and he gets successful. So in those days, you could do it 100 years ago, but not now. Like George Carlin said, it's a big club, and we ain't in it. You and I are not in it. Could it be mafia? A guy like Bill O'Reilly has written a wonderful book, Killing the Mob. Martin Dugard and Bill O'Reilly, they describe everything from 1920 until present times. How the mafia was formed, the Commission, Lucky Luciano, the 30s, Al Capone, the bank robbers in the old days, Bonnie and Clyde and those guys, all the way up into modern times. The casinos. I didn't know 90% of the stuff in that book, Killing the Mob, I didn't know. Sam Giancana. When the mafia was formed and each city had somebody to be the boss, and New York had 5 boroughs and 5 bosses, mafia bosses. But Sam Giancana, he was killed in 1966. They shot him in the head while he was in his basement cooking spaghetti, it said in the book. What a wonderful book. But he's the head of the Chicago outfit, it's called, the Mafia, and he's killed in 1966. Think about that. They haven't had a real boss or a real gangster leader since 1966. It's been whoever came in after him, and obviously they're not going to be as tough and direct as him. They're going to be a bunch of mealy-mouthed little punks. Obama comes from Illinois. So it is the media, and they are projecting this thing out, the American dream, and you got 70,000 homeless people in Los Angeles, and they all have the idea for a screenplay or how they're going to do a tap dance for Howard Stern on this TV show and become rich and famous. I call them the 70,000 homeless Elvis Presleys because, like I say, 100 years ago, you could do it. So, I'm Mike Hayne, and I'm talking to myself to cure myself. The fascinating part of this is the haters, the people who are constantly inflamed by media messages, commercials to buy something. You should have this. You should have a car. You should be shiny, smiling, and dancing down the street. Good luck with that. You know, that was a nice commercial. And then when they find out that life is a little bit different than that, with bills and work and arguments with the spouse, they become haters. And that was what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm looking at. How could people form themselves into hate groups in society and take action? And I'm going to keep exploring it. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of 5 labels. There are 5 labels: pedophile, rapist, terrorist, drug dealer, and illegal alien. Those are the labels. Those are the people. He's an illegal alien. Well, I'm going to put barbiturates in his coffee while he's not looking. But the idea is, number 1, how can it be a group? Number 2, how can they be so secret? And what's going on?